Hi, this is Frank Taylor with another episode of Nature in Your Backyard. And today, we're going to look at some ants. And they're not just any kind of ants. These are Allegheny Mound ants. And I didn't even know they were here. I went down to my pond the other day, and I saw these ants, and I filmed them, and I took photos of them, and I sent photos to Eric Day over at Virginia Tech, Department of Entomology. And he's in charge of identifying stuff for people. And I said, Eric, what kind of ants are these? And he wrote me back right away. And he said, Frank, those are Allegheny Mound ants. So I took the name, I looked it up, and sure enough, they're Allegheny Mound ants. And Allegheny Mound ants build mounds. And I didn't realize that here in North America, we had mound building ants. I always thought of ants building mounds like in Africa or South America. And here we have them. And they will build mounds that can be 18 inches to 3 feet tall, and they might be 5 or 6 or 8 feet across. The bigger the mound, the older the colony. The bigger the mound, the more ants are in it. And you can go online and look up statistics, and it'll tell you how many thousand ants are in a mound based on their size. And then I was thinking, I was in Switzerland 2 years ago, and I was hiking in the mountains, and I remembered seeing giant piles of pine needles. And I went over, and I just kind of nudged the pine needle with my foot, and it just exploded in ants. So I found out that these are closely related to the mound ants that are in the mountains in Switzerland, in the Alps, 7,000 or 8,000 feet up. So through the magic of video, I'm going to switch from this kind of cool rainy day up here and take you down to the pond where you can see Allegheny Mound ants. Hang on, here it comes. Right here in your backyard. You never know what you're going to find. Never to make this invasive. It's exotic. Dogwoods are flowering. And I just took a couple swipes. Terrestrial environment.
Produce seed pollen. And it's...
So down here in my backyard at this pond, to show you Allegheny Mound ants. And over here I have a gazebo that I built to hang out by the pond. And this is where I found the Allegheny Mound ants. And it wasn't really where I expected to see them. And I'm going to zoom in here so you can see them too. And can you see all that ant activity? And there's a mound, pile of vegetation right in there, and it's just filled with ants. There's another big ant entrance over here. And ants are going in and out. And ants are at my feet. And they're all across here and around to the front of the gazebo. There's another area of a lot of activity. And you can tell apparently how big a colony of Allegheny Mound ants you have by the diameter of the nest and by the number of ants or the height of the nest as well. You can see there's all kinds of ants going in every direction, doing all sorts of things. So now I'm on my belly and I'm observing these ants working at their level. And let's see what these mounds are made up of. So I'm actually lying on my belly on my deck, which is a pretty convenient place to be right now. And they don't seem to have much interest in being on the deck. So I'm going to take a stick and push some of this stuff around. You can see that it's just piles and piles and piles and piles of dirt and pieces of vegetation. The dirt probably came out from their underground burrows, and the vegetation, they've been collecting that to build their mound. The function of the mound is to provide their habitat, and it's probably ideal for raising eggs and their larvae, and they can probably make the mound aerated just right so the eggs and larvae get plenty of oxygen, and they probably set the right temperature, and they probably set the right humidity with this stuff. And you can see they're really hard at work here. I might have agitated them a little bit by moving some of their stuff around. Here's a guy. I'm always impressed when they're pulling this big pile of stuff around. Fascinated by the work these guys do. And look at this ant dragging away this big leaf. And he's not going to quit. He's working on that. Where is he going to take it? Just disturbed a little piece of the Allegheny Mound's nest mound, and you can see that it's created a frenzy of activity here. And I probably can't stand here very long, because they'll probably come up and bite me to encourage me to leave this area. So here's my conclusion to today. Man, those Allegheny Mound ants, they're pretty crazy. Like I said, I never imagined that we had ants in our area that built mounds. I always thought of them as a South American or African species. And these mounds can be really big. I feel like I'm lucky to have seen these today. And I'm lucky not to have gotten bitten. And that was one last thing that I wanted to tell you about. These guys really can bite. And I got bitten by one of these ants the other day when I was looking at them. And what they'll do is they'll bite you with their jaws, which we call the mandibles. The insect jaws are known as mandibles. And then they'll turn their abdomen around while they're biting you and squeeze out of the base of their abdomen some formic acid and put that into the wound they just created. And if the bite doesn't get you, the formic acid will really make you feel it. So a lot of ants have formic acid, and it's one of their defense mechanisms to protect their nest and their offspring. Allegheny Mound ants. Gosh, you never know what you're going to find in your backyard.